What is up, everybody? Crustless Gaming here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Hopefully everyone's doing great wherever you are in the world. In this video, my very second video here, I really want to talk about everything to do in Raid Shadow Legends. What I mean by that is there are so many different things to do in the game now compared to where it was, back 5 years ago in 2019, where people get lost in the sauce, right? I know a lot of other content creators have covered this, but I want to give kind of my own opinions and perspectives on the daily grind of Raid Shadow Legends, right? So as you can see here, depending on when your server resets or your daily refresh, you're gonna get everything replenished, right? Your Altar of Souls, if you unlock that, will replenish. Um, your marketplace, all your dailies. If you have gems, obviously gems refresh once every hour and 36 minutes if you have it unlocked, right? So basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna come here, right? Um, literally you have all these different things, different game modes you can do. Um, obviously, you want to get them all done, but probably the most important ones that you should be focusing on is Classic Arena, um, Fortress Keys if you have that unlocked, Crypt Keys, and making sure that you're doing your Demon Lord, your Hydra, and then your Chimera if you've unlocked those options. Um, you also have your Doom Tower as well, which is extremely important, and obviously Curse City. But the biggest thing with this game is stats, right? You need to start from the ground up. When you start a new account, you're not going to have your Great Hall maxed out. Hell, I've been playing for what, 2 going on 3 years, and I've only, barely completed my Great Hall, right? Considering that I'm in game, this makes a huge difference when you're actually in live arena, uh, competing against the top players, right? Who've been in the game for a long time. Obviously, at the end of the day, like I said in my last video, artifacts are extremely important. But what's also important is making sure that you have the optimal stats, right? I've gone against some teams that have these all maxed out. I mean, look at that. That's a 12% difference in HP, or for example, a 13% difference in crit damage. That 13% can make or break, whether or not your champion survives a hit or not. So it's imperative that you make sure that you focus on classic arena. That's the basics, and also getting your tier bonuses. When you're going through classic arena, right? If you're starting as a new player, you don't get any increases, right? But when you go up to where I am, classic arena tier 5 or even platinum, you're getting up to 22% to 25% increase in your overall stacks for HP, attack, and defense. Compared to when you just start out, these stats will make or break when you're going against bosses and doing PvE content, right? Not just to include PvP. So, in my opinion, Classic Arena should be your basic. Now, um, the easiest way to go about this is picking off these one-man teams, right? Obviously, I have a lot. It's fully refreshed, replenished. You want to make sure that you're reducing this down to zero as much as you can, as much as your time allows, because you want to make sure you rack up these medals. It takes a long time, but the grind is worth it when you're getting your stats incrementally increased over time, right? So I highly recommend when you come in on a daily refresh, you should focus on Classic Arena. Then the second thing here, crypt keys, right? So once you get your faction wars, a lot of people recommend getting this done. Obviously, Lydia is a super good champion. We all know this. For those who don't, she does a lot. She brings a lot to the team. Decreased defense and weaken, block revives, right? She's very good and she's a void. But the thing, what I like about faction wars here is the glyphs, right? Glyphs can really increase the stats on your team, right? So if we take a look at example one of my champions, nice, right? So obviously he has the 19% increase here, but with the glyphs, you're min-maxing your champs, adding another 3%, adding another 275 HP, right? Base. These things add up, and when you're doing it on each gear set, each artifact, it's gonna definitely increase the overall combat potential of your champion. So making sure that you guys are harvesting those ruins or those glyphs, and also the artifacts. So like I said in my last video, again, artifacts are extremely important. when you get to the higher end or even the low end of faction wars, you get these perception and resilience materials that you can use to craft in the relic in the forge, right? So making sure that you get these, materials so you can craft. I mean, these are pretty good sets for beginning. Even hell, I see a lot of late game players. I've got a couple of my late game champions wearing perception. I mean, you get that 40 accuracy and 5% speed. You get a little bit of naughty, a little bit of nice. I think the best of both worlds, in my opinion. And then looking at resilience, I really don't use resilience too much. I recommend, getting your clan boss immortals and getting your uh, your dailies, and then once you get Hydra, you're getting your Stone Skin protection. Um, I'm sorry, I was thinking of regeneration set. Yeah, regeneration set from Fire Knight. But also, once you start doing if you guys start opting for the Forge passes, getting the bolster. I mean, the bolster does everything, right? Protected 30% HP ally shield and that regeneration essentially. So again, focus on classic first, then faction wars, and then obviously tag team. Unless especially if you're in the beginning of the game, you're not going to be able to fight. You're not going to have the chaps to be able to compete, right? A lot of people do the single for each team, which helps you accumulate these bizarre. I mean, in the early game, obviously, the most important thing is probably going to be energy. I wouldn't waste too much bars on these. I would save and then maybe rare skill tomes, right? Those are very useful. I wouldn't worry about the chickens. But then once you get into kind of the late game, now that's where you start unlocking the sacred shards and Lego books and being able to, and these refresh cleansing accessories. I don't see it much nowadays, but they're still very good. So making sure that you guys, I wouldn't worry about tag team arena when you're first starting out. Again, classic first, then faction wars. Fortress keys obviously allows you to farm coins, so you can be able to get soul stones, right? So these things right here, these mortal soul coins, because and then you can even get very low chance. I think it's a 5 to 10% chance to get soul essences, which helps you get souls once you unlock it. But again, early game, you're not going to really too worry about that. And then lastly here is going to be, or second to the last, Demon Lord keys, right? So when you come to Demon Lord, once you start clearing Ultra Nightmare, you get a whole bunch of goodies that include shards. For newer players, you're probably not going to realize how beneficial if you don't, if you're especially if you're free to play, you're not going to buy any shards. It's extremely important that you max these out, right? We all know this. Um, but even in the early game, I mean, you can get some ancient shards and voids. Even if you don't get Legos, right, you do get epics that can help you. There's a lot of good epics out there, like Deacon Armstrong, or you have Void champions like Godseeker and Neri that can really change your account and supercharge you. And then Hydra, once you unlock Hydra, obviously it gives you some more Soul Stones, but um, it also gives you gear for Stone Skin and protection. Stone Skin obviously was the meta for a long time until all these speed sets, speedsters started coming to the game. But yeah, it's a very progressive thing, right? You cannot rush your account. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Making sure that you taking care of those. So again, classic faction wars, and then um, once you get your Doom Tower, obviously you're not gonna probably be able to do hard. A lot of people get stuck on normal, either the Scarab, the Poison Spider, or Bommel whenever the rotation asks for it. But you can come in here and it does give you some fragments for some Doom Tower champions. Probably not the best champions in the game. Kind of just haphazard that player and put in. But you can come in here and get free goodies, right? Obviously, you can't see it right now, but you can get stuff from energy, gems, even voids and sacred shards, right? I think you get 2 sacreds from the heart every month or every rotation. So my biggest thing I'm trying to get in this video is understanding there's a lot to do in the game, but you need to prioritize your time as well, right? If you only have a certain amount of time to play Raid Shadow Legends a day, you need to focus on what's important, right? A lot of people who pretty much completed the game, who's in game, if you want to say completed it, they do a lot of live arena. Now, I will be getting into live arena. I'll be doing a lot of live arena content, but I wanted to get this video out there to kind of just put on your radar what you should be prioritizing. In my opinion, Classic Arena, Faction Wars, and obviously Doom Tower and these other ones. can also help, right? Siege, you're not going to worry too much about, and then Chimera, obviously. So please, guys, make sure you guys keep in mind that um, your stats mean everything in this game. I mean, I've seen epic champions, be able to one shot Legos and even mythicals based on the stats, right? Now, obviously, for example, Deacon Armstrong, a lot of these are +4 empowered. I wouldn't worry too much about that. What you should be worrying about here is their stats, right? Back in the day, Madame Ceres used to be very good. She was everywhere in the game, right? You put her super fast. She does this whole buff strip, and then she does on her A3, she does a decrease attack and decrease defense, and then buff strips everybody. Very good. She was extremely good. I hardly see her anymore in the high end. There's just so many other champs that take that place. But um, if you in the beginning of the game get her, you need to build her, right? How are you supposed to strip and be able to set up for your nukers if her speed is not where you need it to be? Um, when it comes to artifacts. So make sure you guys are prioritizing your time. Make sure you guys are focusing on what's important in the game, right? And it's fine if you don't do it all. Come in here, there's advanced quests. Yes, Platinum expects you to knock these out every single day once you unlock them. But, what I like to focus on in here, obviously, kind of contradicting what I said, to get more faction war crypt keys, you need to do Tiger Team Arena, right? So what I mean by that is you can go in tag team. You don't even have to worry about winning. You can just do your 5 arena, right? Uh, Save a lot of time. Just get your key and keep moving on, right? If you don't have the chance to progress to the higher tiers in tag team, right? What I don't like what they did was they added these keys for the Doom Tower. Um, a lot of people like to save it to be more competitive. They want to get their scores up in the last couple of days before the reset. Uh, so it makes it extremely hard where you're kind of losing out on advanced quests because it's kind of forcing you, players wanting you to use that key, but you want to hold on to it. So, but I wouldn't worry about completing all of these every single day, right? I think the most important things here are getting your gems, right, and getting energy. Uh, Obviously, it wants you to do live arena. So even for me, I don't have much time to be able to do live arena every single day. So, I forego the 50, the 180 energy that I get from that because to me, it's just not worth the time sink, right? But with that said, kind of just a quick video. What do you guys think? I'm actually working on the setup here. Do you guys like this format or you just want the traditional camera and the game, right? You don't want a fancy overlay. Right now, I'm actually waiting for my green screen. So the background is obviously going to change. I'm going to have a green screen, so it's just going to be me. So let me know what you guys think of the video. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe. Support this channel. It's growing. I will be bringing frequent content for you guys. So I appreciate you guys' time. Let me know what you think. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.